What's going on, guys? In this video I am going to get in my Insight, fiddle around a little bit, get to my map sensor and make sure it's nice and clean. Now the Insight has a map sensor and not a mass airflow sensor, so let's get in there and get started. Alright, so first things first, we're going to take off the 10mm bolts on the top so we can get this plastic bit off. All right, now that we have the cover off, we can take a better look inside here. You can see right here, it says sensor map. So in order to get this out and get it cleaned, we've got a Phillips head right here we're gonna take out. And once that's out, the only thing that is holding it in besides the actual harness itself is you can see there's a hose. So I'm gonna disconnect the hose from the bottom part right down here because I don't know what the top looks like. So I'm gonna get some needle nose and take that out. And once you get the whole thing out, this is what it's gonna look like. I just have to disconnect the harness and there you go. You can either replace it or clean it. And I'm gonna get in here and clean this bad boy. Hopefully I'll be running like a top. All right, so now that I have this out, it just looks like this hose goes straight up in here. So I'm gonna do the same thing as I'm gonna pull this hose out. Hose still looks pretty decent. I don't see any sort of cracks or anything in it, so still gonna be careful with it. Pop that out, and then I have got some strangely expensive mass airflow sensor cleaner. You're not supposed to be using anything else but that stuff in here, and maybe if you wanna use some electronics cleaner in here, then you can if that's all gunked up, but mine looks pretty clean. So I'm just gonna spray off the inside, and hopefully get rid of any idling issues that I may have, which I do have. There we go. I was able to get the rest of that off. It was pretty difficult since there is this plastic bit in the way, but I was able to get my needle nose in here and twist it so I could break it free, and then it just pops right off. But I do have that off. It's all in one piece. I didn't rip it anywhere, so that one's still good to go. Now with that little teeny tiny hole, I should be able to... Nope. Well, that's really annoying. That doesn't go in there. But I can flood the inside of that with the cleaner, shake it around, let it sit a little bit, clear out the insides, and maybe that will fix my issues. Okay, I lied. It's easier if you just keep the hose on there. So I'm gonna put that on there, put this inside, and then just spray the living hell out of it that way, because science. All right, now that we've got this nice and clean, we're just gonna do the reverse process. We're gonna shove this back on here. I might need the needle nose to help pop that back in, wiggle it on there so it's seated nice. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug everything back in so that wire harness and that Phillips head screw are cover back on, and we should be good to go. Alrighty, now that I have everything back in there, I can put the cover back on, and I got that hose snug down in there. Just make sure before you put all this stuff back together, just make sure that everything is dry from when you cleaned it, or if you're replacing it, you don't have to worry about that. And last but not least, get this started up. I have the battery disconnected right now, so it actually has the starter motor. And now I gotta wait for this to come back down to idle, and see if we get a nice idle. God, it's windy every time I film. All right, so after going for a short drive, it's quite a bit better than it was before. It smoothed things out a little bit. I've got check engine light, all that stuff, because I do have my battery disconnected right now, so that's totally separate. Also, why my MPG is so low. Anyway, it smoothed things out quite a bit. It's not 100% perfect, but hopefully this video helped you out and how to get it out, find it, clean it, whatever. See you guys next time.